Yeah, we get the vibing, don't we? We got some topics to discuss. We get it poppin', homie. Just elected like the new mayor, putting on the classic like he Ric Flair. This is Josh Martinez and Z100, home of your favorite music where the beats are bumping. Pick your favorite company, the wait is over. It's a superstar crossover. Pa que sepa.
It's Z100, New York's #1 hit music station. I'm Josh Martinez with my guest at this time, former WWE heavyweight champion, Big E. What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me.
Nah, it's all love. It's all love. We know big MSG house show coming up in early March. We could get to that in just a little bit. How has life been so far for you over the last, let's just say, 6 months?
Oh, things have been good, man. We talk about the last 6 months. Things have changed a lot. So I went from winning the Money in the Bank to becoming WWE champion. But I've had this opportunity to do some things that I consider bucket list type moments for me. Some incredible things. Also, unfortunately, lost the WWE title as well. But now I'm back on SmackDown with my partner, my brother, Kofi Kingston.
Now, the SmackDown move just kind of happened randomly for fans, at least. Was it as random for you as hey, on Friday, go to the city?
Yes, it was. It was there. That's all I got for you. I don't know if you're looking for any more insight, but that's essentially what it is. Hey, you're on SmackDown, and all right, this is all right. That's the plan. You know what? Look, man. My job is to perform. I do the very best that I can with what I'm given, and besides all that, everything else, I try to control what I can.
If you had to do your WWE title run differently, I'm sure you saw it on social media. Fans weren't happy with it, all right? And that's nothing against you. It's just kind of the overall spectrum of the title run. What would you have done differently, if anything, really?
That's a very good question. I think there's several things I would do differently. But again, like I said, man, my focus really is just on performing. I do the best I can. But, I wish it would have lasted longer. I wish we would have had the opportunity to do some more dynamic things. I don't think it's difficult to really latch on to a new champion when they have, within their first month, they have multiple losses on TV. But again, we can go down this path. Look, man, I appreciate genuinely all the people who support me and who want it better for me. I also want better for myself. And I guess I'll just leave it there.
Hey, man, listen, my man Big E ain't never tell a lie, and we'll just leave it at that. Now, you did mention that you wish it was longer. That was kind of the overall sentiment of the Super Bowl halftime show. And I know you're a huge hip-hop head. What was your opinion on that? We're just going to jump around, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with jumping around. No, it was a really cool moment. One of the things that kind of messed with my head a little bit is I saw a few tweets like, back in our day when we were kids, it would be like bands that our parents enjoyed watching. And it's cool that they're finally doing one for us younger people. And then it took about 10 seconds for it to set in and realize, oh no, we're now the old people that these halftimes are for. But hey, I really enjoyed it. That was the music that I grew up on as well. So for all of us who are in our 30s and 40s, it's okay. It's okay to realize like our hair's thinning a little bit, and finally we're getting the musical acts that we want to see in our halftimes.
I will say, I think we should all strive to be as happy at the age of 50 as Snoop is, because my man is just always smiling.
Oh yeah, Snoop is living the life, man. Snoop is and Snoop. I feel like Snoop and Shaq are kind of one and the same in that they are everywhere and they do the most random of things, but they make it work at all times. So yeah, big fan.
You are a huge hip hop fan. Top 5 rappers putting you on the spot. Could be dead or alive. You could roll your eyes all you want and be worried. You're only giving me 5. I'm gonna name 6 or 7. Got to give me 5 and 5 only. Go.
Okay, I hate making lists, but here we go. We'll go Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Ghostface Killer, who a lot of people don't put in their top 5, but look at his body of work; is worthy of it. And did I say Rakim?
No.
Okay, let's go Rakim.
You're fine. By the way, as someone born and raised in New York City, I appreciate the hell out of that list. Okay.
Yeah, it was very New York. I didn't realize how New York centric it was, but hey, that's the list.
It's going to be in the building March 5th, Madison Square Garden. Huge house show. Tickets on sale now. Ticketmaster.com. All of the info. WWE.com. Maybe you should pay some love when you're in the building March 5th at Madison Square Garden. You did pay love to some Jersey rappers. My personal favorite gear ever, the Score, the Fuji's gear that you had towards the end of 2022. Why the Score?
So, when I was trying to just coming up with ideas for wrestling gear when I was on my own, I just kind of wanted to lean into things that I loved. And like you said, as a hip hop head, the score to me, I mean, for anyone who is remotely familiar with hip hop, the score is a classic. There's no question about it. It's a classic. But also, I love the parallel with the Fugees and with the New Day too. It's a 3-person group. We're a 3-person group. And there's just so much. I don't know. It just felt right, and it felt like an album that resonated for so many people. And I was happy to put that on my gear. It's an album that I've listened to, man, for talking about decades now, and has meant a lot to so many people.
You made the mistake of saying that the New Day's like the Fugees. Who's Praz? Who's Wyclef? Who's Lauren?
Yeah. You're making me squirm today. I don't. That is a good question. It's a very good question. I don't know who. I'll go with Woods as Lauryn Hill. I don't really know. I don't have good explanations for any of these. The problem is anyone, and this is not a shot at Praz, but whoever gets Praz is, Praz is always disrespected in the trio. So I'll make myself Praz so as not to offend Kofi.
Hey,
and Kofi's Wyclef.
Let's not sleep on Ghetto Superstar. That was one of the bangers, and that is a Praz solo song. Granted, Maya carried the chorus, but Praz gets the credit as the actual solo artist.
You are correct. You are correct, sir.
So let's not sleep on that. You did mention Kofi. How has he kind of helped you with the transition from champion and then kind of the post-champion run?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the thing with Kofi is he's not a guy who's going to pull you aside and lecture you, but he's someone who leads by action. That's what I love is, I was just able to see the way that he handled things with his title run and the way things ended. It's kind of, it's interesting, I'll say, how our runs weren't too drastically different, kind of that falling off of a cliff feeling at the hands of one Brock Lesnar. And then suddenly it just, it feels like you woke up a year prior and you're back to doing what you were doing before. But, I'll say, man, he's a guy who's handled it with grace. He's a guy who, he didn't complain or he didn't show up to work pouting. He's a consummate professional, and he's someone that I think, like I said, he just always leads by example.
I do this with every guest I have. I like to have some fun, as you can tell, because we're just bouncing around. I want to do this or that. I'm going to say two things. You're just going to give me one or the other. You do not have to give me an explanation. And then we'll let people run with it however they want. All right?
I got you.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Friends or The Office?
The Office.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Legs or arm day?
Ooh, legs.
The toilet paper, over or under?
Under.
Hamburgers or tacos?
Tacos.
The 2002 Buccaneers or the 2020 Buccaneers?
Ooh, I'll go 02 Bucks.
Daniel Cormier, John Jones.
Man, I don't want to say John Jones, but John Jones.
Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson?
Ali.
If it makes you feel better, every time I get to Ali Tyson, there's always a pause. I had Paul Heyman stuck and analyzing for about 60 seconds. Out alone on that.
Well, so I'll go Ali because Tyson himself goes Ali. And but I mean, obviously, I'm 35, so my heyday was Mike Tyson's come up. So it just resonates more with me. But because Tyson says Ali, I'll say Ali.
What is your Pancheros order?
My Pancheros order. For anyone who doesn't know, Pancheros is my favorite burrito chain in the world. Thank you for mentioning it. It's Iowa-based, where I went to school. But my Pancheros order, now I don't really eat a lot of red meat, but for some reason, I just like their steak more than the chicken. So I'll get a burrito. I'll go steak. I'll always get the extra vegetables. You got to pay a little extra for the vegetables, like the sauteed veggies. It's worth it. I get the queso. I'll get the corn, pico de gallo, some cheese, obviously rice, black beans, and that's all she wrote.
So I started my radio career in Des Moines, Iowa, from New York to Des Moines. So that's how I'm very familiar with Iowa. In fact, one of your first media runs was Labor Day weekend, 2014, and you actually came into the station in Des Moines, Iowa. And you and I actually kicked it. This was before the Intercontinental title run. So you and I have spoke before in the past. And I asked you, who was the most underrated person on the mic then? You said Dolph Ziggler. Who is the most underrated person on the mic today?
Wow. That is a very good question, man. So I'm trying to think of someone who's very good, but doesn't get enough credit for being a very good talker. You know what, man? I want to take my hat off to Chad Gable and kind of seeing what he's done as of late, because he's been that good for a while. But I think he's finally getting that opportunity to show how much of a personality he is and how good he is on the mic. So let's go with Gable, even though I think people are starting to see how good he is, but let's go with Gable.
I recently started watching The Sopranos. Never watched it before, right?
Wow.
I never watched The Office either till the pandemic.
Okay.
So I'm trying to catch up. Is there any TV shows that you've never watched that people will give you flack for?
I watch a lot of TV. It's bad. It's bad. There's one show, I don't know if a lot of people give me flack for it because I think it's more critically acclaimed than popular, is The Americans. I heard it's an amazing show, but I've never seen any of The Americans. I think it was on FX. But I watch way too much TV. I've pretty much seen every like tentpole major drama I've seen, I think.
I think next on my list is Game of Thrones. And then Euphoria is like the big thing right now. And I'm just like, I usually watch football on Sundays. So sorry, Euphoria.
I feel you. But that's why we got DVR, man. You can't really use that as an excuse, you know?
I love it. So March 5th, back at Madison Square Garden. Like I said, tickets on sale, Ticketmaster.com, WWE.com. Do you have any fond memories of New York City? An event outside of the ring, Henny Palooza, just something that you, shout out to Kaz, by the way.
Yeah.
Him and I worked together. I don't know if he remembers me. Him and I worked together at summer camp on Staten Island like 15 years ago. Shout out to that random summer camp for producing people in media. Any fun memories of New York City?
Man, a ton. Like you said, Henny Palooza was a great time. I've done that a couple times. But I was thinking back to my first MSG live event, I believe was Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena in a cage match. The main event in like 2012, which was really dope. But man, I am from Florida, and New York for me it's a bit of a culture shock. So I don't know oftentimes if I could live in New York, but I realize I always love the opportunities to visit my friends and to see people in New York. I always have a great time. Anytime I don't have to drive in New York, I realize I enjoy it so much more when I can just sit in a hotel, Uber around. When I have to drive in and out, that's when I'm like, I don't think the city is for me. But I've had some great times just being there. Because, you know, we're there for SummerSlam almost every year. And it's usually a week of just being there, being in Brooklyn. But yeah. And also a shout out to Flatbush Zombies, too, who, to Juice and the boys who I've hung out with many times in New York.
It's all love. Appreciate you one more time. I know we got to get out of here. So Big E, March 5th, WWE, Madison Square Garden. We appreciate you. And like I said before, and I'm going to reiterate again, my man Big E ain't never tell a lie. Okay. So read between the lines. Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.